The whole woman. On living fully, without waiting for permission. There is a kind of life that does not ask for approval. That does not explain itself to rooms full of people who have decided what a full life is supposed to look like. That does not apologize for its own completeness. This is that life. And the person living it is not missing anything. She has simply stopped pretending that she is. Part 1. What independence actually is. The world has a story it tells about a person who lives alone, who is not partnered, who comes home to their own silence and finds peace there instead of absence. The story says, something must be wrong. The story says, this cannot be a choice, it must be a wound. But here is what the story has never been willing to say. Independence is not a mask for loneliness. It is a declaration of self. To come home to silence and feel peace instead of emptiness, that is not something everyone is capable of. Most people have never been alone long enough to discover what they actually are without the noise of someone else defining them. The person who chooses this life has done something that takes genuine courage. They sat with themselves until they became someone they were glad to sit with. That is not loneliness. That is arrival. Part 2. The double standard worth naming. There is a quiet hypocrisy embedded in how we speak about solitude. A person who focuses on their work, who builds without distraction, who chooses their own company, is called driven, is called focused, is called someone with direction. Until that person is a woman. Then the question changes. Then the question becomes, what is wrong with her? Why is she alone? Is she too difficult? Too particular? Has something gone wrong that she is not telling us? But perhaps, and this is worth sitting with carefully, she has simply learned what certain experiences teach and others never do. That being with someone who does not respect you costs more than being alone ever could. That company without depth is not companionship. It is just noise with a familiar face. She is not too particular. She has particular values. There is a difference, and she knows it. Part 3. A relationship is a bonus, not a bandage. Somewhere along the way, a story took root. That a person is only complete when another person has claimed them. That life does not truly begin until someone looks at you and says, "You are mine." But the person who has chosen to live fully on their own terms has already seen through that story. She understands something that takes most people years to arrive at. A relationship is supposed to add to a life that is already whole, not complete a life that was never allowed to become whole on its own. She is not waiting to be rescued. She has already saved herself quietly, unglamorously, one difficult morning at a time. She does not need someone to begin her story. She is already writing it. And the chapters she is writing contain no apology for being unattached, no shame in being unfinished in the way the world expects her to be. Just the steady, unhurried work of becoming someone she is proud to be. Part 4. What silence builds. People confuse silence with sadness. They see a woman alone in her space and assume the quiet must be unbearable, must be something she is enduring until something better arrives. But silence is where something rare is built. Self-knowledge. When you are not performing for someone else's comfort, not adjusting, not softening, not shrinking, you begin to hear yourself. What moves you? What depletes you? What you actually want versus what you have been told to want. That knowledge, hard-won, honestly earned, cannot be given to you by another person. It can only be found in the space you create for yourself. The woman who has lived in that space knows who she is in a way that is difficult to shake. Not because she is rigid, but because she is rooted. And roots, unlike performances, do not disappear when no one is watching. Part 5. Strength is not found in partnership. There is a myth that needs to be dismantled gently but completely. That strength is proven by who stands beside you. That you have made it when someone claims you. That your worth is confirmed when someone chooses you. But real strength, the kind that endures, the kind that does not collapse when someone withdraws their approval, is built inside. It is built in the quiet moments when you show up for yourself, even when no one else does. When you take care of your life, your health, your peace, your dreams, not because someone is watching, but because you understand that you are worth caring for. Strength is not how well you keep someone beside you. It is how well you keep yourself together when no one is. And the woman who has spent time building that kind of strength does not need someone to confirm her value. She carries the confirmation within herself. It shows in how she speaks, in how she refuses, in how she moves through the world without waiting for permission to take up space. Part 6. Soft is not weak. There is a misunderstanding worth addressing. That a woman who knows her worth must be hard, must be cold, must have built walls tall enough to keep everyone out. But some of the most grounded people are also the most tender. Not because they have not been tested, but because they have been tested and chosen, deliberately, not to let it make them smaller. That is not weakness. That is the most sophisticated kind of courage. To remain open after you have every reason to close. To cry without apology. To feel the loneliness on the difficult nights without letting it rewrite everything you know about yourself. To hold your standards not because you are afraid of love, but because you respect yourself enough to wait for the kind that is real. Part 7. Self-love is not a slogan. Loving yourself first is not something that fits neatly on a caption. It is a practice. A daily, unglamorous, sometimes difficult practice. It is waking up and choosing your own peace before anyone else's comfort. It is making decisions that protect what you have built, not because someone advised it, but because you have learned what it costs to give it away carelessly. It is recognizing your own patterns, sitting with your own fears, understanding what you are drawn to, and asking honestly whether it serves you or simply feels familiar. When you love yourself in this way, truly, not performatively, you stop rushing. You stop accepting things that feel wrong because you are afraid of what the alternative looks like. You stop entertaining what drains you and start protecting what restores you. And something shifts. You are never entirely alone when you are rooted in yourself. You carry your own company, your own clarity, your own sense of direction into every room you enter. And when love finds you, not when you chase it, but when it genuinely arrives, you will recognize it, not because you needed it, but because it aligns with what you already have. Closing the whole person. She is not waiting. She is not incomplete. She is not a story that has not yet found its resolution. She is the resolution. Built quietly, built honestly, built without asking whether the world approved of the life she was choosing. Not against love, not closed to it. Simply unwilling to hand the most important parts of herself to someone who has not earned the privilege. And in that refusal, in that patient, rooted, quietly powerful refusal, there is something the world rarely celebrates, but always, eventually, recognizes. A person who knows exactly what they are worth, and has decided to stop accepting anything less.